Good afternoon. With the currency of energy, there's a real importance for me that we all recognize that energy truly is a currency. It is something we spend that has such great value. Think about when we first started out. We started in our careers or started our first company. Think about who we were. We were folks who had so much energy, so much vibrancy, so much enthusiasm. We had this wonderful sense of adventure, this wonderful energy of creativity and excitement. We were envisioning what was going to happen, what we were going to create, who we were going to become, what our life was going to be like, what our future was going to be like. We had it set that there was such an exciting innocence, such an exciting level of focus and clarity. I'm going to go do this through this and this. What we weren't conscious of is that we were also looking at defining the kind of leaders we were going to be, defining what that means to us. What does a leader mean to us? And for many of us, it depends on where we grew up. What kind of leader was either or both of our parents? What kind of leaders did we have in school or in our churches or our synagogues, wherever we may have grown up? Then we had a sense of what a leader looked like. Not our leadership, but what the theoretical job of leadership looked like. And that's an energy we tried to create for ourselves, not even realizing it. That's an energy we wanted to exude out into the world. Yet over time, we created our own unique energy. We created our own sense of what it means to be a leader. And for some, it's an exhausting proposition of carrying burdens everywhere. For some, it's just endless numbers of responsibilities and things to do, jobs to do. Boy, leadership means so many different things to so many people. And yet all of it comes back to what is the energy? What is the energy? Energy is the basis for everything. Energy is absolutely the basis for everything. And so my call to you today is, what is your signature energy? What is the energy that you choose to walk in? Because that clearly defines us. It defines how we see and experience ourselves, as well as how others see and experience us. It's a really powerful tool in self-awareness to know the style of energy you're putting out. What does that look like? What does that feel like, even more importantly? What does it feel like when you walk in a room? How do people experience you? Experiencing you is not the same as knowing your resume, knowing your education, knowing your training, knowing all the influential things you've done or haven't done, the books you've written and all of that. That's not energy, because you can do all of that from a place of ego, manipulation, and rage, or you can do all of that from a place of excitement. What's the energy you put out? Because that's what they experience far more than they do your bio, far more than they do your CV. The energy you put out is what's so important. You can have great dreams, great visions of where you're going to go. And yet the energy you put out is one of struggle or distraction. It's one of overwhelm. You can live a very high level of success. You've achieved a great deal. You're making 20, 30 million a year. You're doing wonderfully. And yet the energy you put out is about battle. It's about exhaustion. It's about manipulation. It doesn't have to be, but it can be. And you will be regarded or respected truly far more according to the energy you put out than the resume. Amazingly, some people can get away with so much, be forgiven for so many mistakes, because the energy they put out is friendly, it is understanding, it is of connection. And some make one small mistake, but they put out an energy that just says, do you know who I am? Very ego, very narcissistic, and they don't get away with anything. The energy you put out defines your life. It really starts with you, however. How do you see yourself? How do you see you walking through the world? How do you see the impact you want to have? I speak frequently about mindfulness, about meditation, about prayer, reflection, whatever fits your spiritual beliefs, or your emotional beliefs. When we do any of those practices, they all or each call us to stop, call us to reconnect with us, reconnect with what we're putting out there, reconnect with the message, reconnect with us. When we take the time to stop, we can see I've been putting out an edge lately. We can see I've been putting out a feeling of hopelessness lately. We can see the energy we've been putting out. That period of reflection is so important because it allows us to catch up with ourselves. Truly, it sounds simplistic, I know, but leadership is truly an energetic equation. Your presence shapes the outcome of the things you do. It truly does. If you walk into a meeting looking defeated, you will be. They will already know they've got you. If you walk into a meeting comfortable in your own skin and ready to discuss any topic, you don't need to have all the answers. You don't even need to have all the questions. But you walk in comfortable in your own skin, ready to discuss anything and everything with that sense of I am. People then see you. They see the power source. They see a presence that has it together. They see a power source that says, let's do this as a team. You don't have anything to prove. You don't have to be seen as the person. You just need to be seen. And that's easy to do when you already see yourself. It's so much easier. Recognizing that message you are sending out supports you in defining who you are, and it gives you time to give back to what serves you, to bring you back to, ooh, this doesn't feel good. I need to take a moment. I need to take a moment to reevaluate and come back into who I want to be, come back into how I want to show up. When it comes to your team, whether you work in a retail store or you work in the C-suite, when there is misalignment between your energy and how you want to be perceived, there's massive stress going on inside of you. There's this inner battle that's going on. It affects everything. It creates stress. It creates fatigue. It creates burnout. You're exhausted because you're fighting yourself as much as all the other situations that you bring in. And when you walk in a sense of lost and confusion, you will be surrounded by loss and confusion. It is absolutely amazing. We bring in what we put out. And the price is too high, way too high, to be misaligned with what's really going on and what you're putting out. Spend time so that what you put out honestly reflects where you are. Spend time knowing what's happening within you so that the energy you put out into the world reflects who you are because you took the time for meditation, for prayer, for mindfulness, for whatever, and you caught up with yourself. When there is alignment, there's a flow. It's easy, it happens, and it impacts your health. It impacts your creativity. It impacts your intuition. When there is misalignment, it's chaos, burnout, and fatigue, as I said. It's so not worth it. When your energy is coherent, influence becomes effortless. Life becomes so much easier and so much less stressful. It becomes what you deserve. Truly, your creativity, your vibrancy, your intuition, all of that shows up in spades when you are coherent, when there is consistency in, I know what's going on in me, and I know what I need to do with this next meeting, with this next client, whatever, with your family, it doesn't matter what it is. Spend your energy wisely. Know what it is you're putting out because that's the currency. That's what you're spending. Spend it wisely. Know what you're putting out and know when it's not an alignment. There is too much inconsistency. Too many ways people say, but I wanted them to see this. I wanted them to experience this. There's no way that they could because it wasn't what you were putting out. It doesn't matter what you said. We all know it isn't so much what we say, but how we say it. Because how we say it is how they hear it. Our intention is irrelevant if there's not alignment between the message we wanted them to get, how we said it, in the energy we put out. There's got to be a consistency in all of that. Take a moment, if you will, and ask yourself a question. Where in your life do you spend energy that doesn't reflect what you believe in, that doesn't reflect who you truly are and who you want to be? And why? What's creating the misalignment? Understand it, deal with it, and you can eliminate it. Have a great day.